Yo, 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 you already know what time it is. Welcome back to another episode of Thinker versus Speaker, a weekly podcast where I, Marissa the Thinker, sit down with different guests and we talk about all things life. So it's a nothing's off limits here. You know what I'm saying? When we talk about life, we really get into it. So if you easily triggered, here's your warning, act accordingly. But you know what I'm saying? If you down to have those real conversations with these real people, let's get into it. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe on all platforms. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, all the things. You can also follow us on social media, but I'll get into that later. I'm not going to waste too much time. We're going to hop back into it. Today's guest is no stranger to Thinker versus Speaker and definitely not a stranger to me. We got my dad. Hey, how you doing?
What's up, Rissy? How you doing?
I'm good. How's it going?
I'm good. Another day made it through. Ready to sit down and do this. Let's roll.
All right. I know you done been on here a fair. I think you the person that's probably done been on here probably the most. But I don't think you ever had a chance to like actually properly introduce yourself. Do you want to tell the audience a little bit about yourself before we get started?
Yeah, I say a little bit. I'm just a working man. Worked all my life. Been working for probably over 40 years now, just in different jobs. Started off and had 2 kids, and I come from a family of 5. I had one sister and 3 brothers. And my father was a pastor, and my mama was a homemaker and stuff like that. So everything was good. We had a regular life and continue to have that. There's not much to say. We just trying to make it. Hopefully, I make it 6 or 7 more years, and I'll get to retire. That's about it.
Okay. So and the reason that I wanted to bring you on this podcast today was because I'm feeling a little bit nostalgic and I'm just curious, I wanted to talk about family a little bit and
Mm-hmm.
like where we come from and stuff and like what it's like to have kids. So my first question is kind of like what was your childhood like, especially growing up with 4 other siblings and being the youngest of them all? Like, what was that like? You know what I'm saying? From those humble beginnings, because I know where you come from.
Well, it's so many different stories to my childhood. We was my parents from Mississippi, and we spent a lot of time going to Mississippi in the summer times and stuff like that. But we're from St. Louis. I was born in the projects. Was Hospital City #1. I was born in. My early thing I remember is my sister always used to pretty much would raise me. Like if my mom stayed at home and I was in Head Start and stuff, my sister would walk me. She was always like a second mother. She was
Mm-hmm.
always around doing stuff. She was the oldest. So she always had to take responsibilities. So in my early childhood, I always remember her, like her and my mom. So that's why, like now, I always adore women in my life. Strong Black women, because they was always there, and they was always strong in what they did. And that's what I always respect about them. So when I see women that's strong, I always respect that about women. You know.
That's cool. It's funny that you say that too, because it kind of like reminds me of the thing that I remember when you say that is like when we were going to preschool and like I think everybody in like our family almost went to that place. Like,
Right.
everybody in our family, at least all of the grandkids went to Ashland preschool.
Mm-hmm.
We'll always go to like grandma house for like, you know what I'm saying? We didn't go to daycare. We went to grandma house. And like that's kind of like what I remember. That's exactly who would be picking us up from preschool. It would be either Sally or grandma walking us home or like picking us up.
Right. And see, that's what you brought up Ashley. See, that's where the first time in kindergarten, that's the first time I saw your mother. That's she one of the first people that I saw when the first day of school. I saw her mother dropping her off, And I think we sat, right next to each other and stuff like that. So we was always cool. We always had a bond, and we always had like somebody over us keeping us together.
Uh-huh.
So that Ashland school. So I know exactly what you're saying. That's where when we moved from the projects, that was my first going to kindergarten. That was my fondest memories. Going to Ashland and stuff like that.
Yeah. And see, like meeting mom there, it's kind of crazy, you know what I'm saying? I guess people, not a lot of people like in my generation had that type of story where they've known like the person who they with like all of their lives. But you and mom didn't date all of y'all lives, did y'all?
No, we were just in the same circles. It was like your mom was a cheerleader, and Danny, that's my brother next to me. He played football, and she was a cheerleader, and then her brother played. So I would like go to the games, and I would see her in school, and I see her do a little cheerleader thing and stuff like that. And then as the years go, sometimes when going through first through sixth, or sometimes we'd be in the same class, sometimes we wouldn't. But we was always cool and cordial, and always got along and stuff like that. And so yeah, it was always nice. Always in the same circles and stuff like that. Knew the same people, and it was just great. When you looking for somebody, when you're younger, you're not looking, for no wife or girlfriend. You just young, and you don't know that's gonna be your mate and stuff like that. So you just going on doing what you got to do.
So how did it come about, like y'all getting together? Like I kind of know the story, and I think you mentioned it before, but like I just want to kind of like reiterate it. Like how did it come about, like y'all getting together?
Well, that was because when we were in high school, we would talk and sit next to each other, and we always was cool and could talk and stuff. And then like in probably my senior year, she would get off the bus and I'd walk her home, and her mom be sitting there waiting on her and stuff like that. So we was cool. And then we went out. We went out on graduation. So we went out on a date on graduation and stuff like that. And then she went off to school. And then she went off to school, and I think about 2 or 3 years later, I just happened to, she lived off Margaretta, and I just happened to drive that way, and she was out putting Christmas lights out. And, by then, I was 20, been through a little stuff, and dealt with girls and stuff like that. And we just started talking, and we just, all the things that was important to us, we just clicked.
Right.
Then you really find out it was something, it was worth investing time in a person like that, because we were just friends. So we can always say we were friends first, and that was made it work and stuff. When you marry your friend, I'm not gonna. She wasn't my best friend, but she was my friend. Now she my best friend. So
Right.
I think that's what make it work. Because people come and go, but in relationships like that, your spouse got to be your best friend. And
Yeah.
when people figure that out, because you're gonna go through ups and downs. So but if you got your best friend, y'all can deal with so much together, and that's what
Right.
it always was. Yeah, and then she went to school, and we stayed together and stuff like that. And then, like I said, it's just been, probably for about, you know, over 40 years now, just, hanging and being together. Married 33 years.
How old were you when you got married?
24. Yeah,
24. Man, I was young.
yeah, 24. Yeah, but the thing about it back then, 24 felt like you were old when you was getting married.
Really?
Yeah. 24, because like Danny and them and Danny and Margaret, they got married. I think, Danny was in the service. I almost want to say they got married. He was either like 20 or 21. He wasn't that old, and then like it just and I think Nate got married when he was, fairly young and stuff like that too. So I mean that was always something that people did. So it
Right.
was, that felt, that was the easy part. That especially when like I say, you get the right person, and then like successful marriages was always in the family.
Right.
You know, so you always saw that.
Do you think the marriages was successful because everybody like really knew their spouses pretty well?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that's what it was. Because people got to know people. Now you live in an age where people meeting people on the internet and things like that. And they really don't know these people. And then people just meeting people, through their jobs or whatever. And then they get in a relationship and then they get married or they have babies. And then they find out that they don't even like this person.
Yeah.
You know, they don't even like the person. They 3 years in and they don't even know who they married because they never had those tough conversations. They never had those arguments. They never got to know each, because you got to look, because everybody gonna have problems, but you're gonna have to figure out, like, you're gonna have to figure out, is it worth staying with a person, or those person that person the way they are, do you love them enough to stay with them? Because like 40 years is a long time to deal with somebody that get on your nerves. You know,
Yeah.
you see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
so you got to make a decision. Like, hey, is this working? But my thing is, if you raise stuff, if you have more good times than bad times, and then you start having percentage, like if you happy 70 and 80% of the time, then you got something going, because you're not gonna be happy every day. You're not
Right.
gonna be happy with your kids, your wife, your job, your car, your house. I mean, because stuff go wrong. So, but if you happy in those things, more than you sad, then you got something to live for.
Right. Right. So with that being said, like y'all getting to know each other and everything, like would you say that y'all wanted a lot of the same things out of life, you think?
Yeah, yeah. I just think, you know what? I don't really know, because we never had those conversations. We just knew that we just wanted to be together. So whatever came of that, being together and working together and striving for stuff, we never. Now, I shouldn't say we. I never was smart enough to have a plan, to say, this what I was gonna do, and
Right.
this what my life gonna look like. My life just look like what it is because I'm just living. I'm just,
Mm-hmm.
I work the job, pay bills. Family come along, then you try to raise your family the best you know how, and then that's just life. I didn't have a blueprint. I guess some successful people, they have blueprints. They know what they gonna do. They know what they gonna be, and then they strive for that. I just wasn't that type of person. So
Right.
I'm happy with what I am and who I have and stuff like that. So, it works for me.
Did you always know that you wanted kids?
Uh Really, I did. I never really, thought about, when I was younger. I never really thought about having kids, so it wasn't even in my realm of thinking. I wasn't. I didn't dream like, man, when I have a son, or man, when I have a daughter. I was more focusing on, being in a relationship after you get past, 20 and 21. You go out there and you start playing so many games with people, and you start meeting so many people that you look at and say, man, I don't want this person. This person get high all the time. This person, she always drinking. This person loud as hell. when you go to the club. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You start feeling what you want, and then you start looking for that. And then, like that's what I'm saying. Then when you meet a person that's calm into your soul and stuff like that, and trying to correct you and see the faults in you and trying to help you and being able to buy things for you and try to make you be a better man and stuff, then you be like, man, this I'm in love, you know. I
Yeah.
love this person for these things. So I didn't even think about like the fact that kids, now after you got married, you was like, okay, yeah, if you have kids, that'd be great. But I never thought about it like that. And then even when your mom was pregnant, I was just being high. I just started saying, I just want them to be healthy. When she was carrying Marcus and then yourself, I'm praying like, hey, God give them, 10 fingers and 10 toes, let them walk straight. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
then I was preparing myself like if it wasn't, then if it's not, then I had to deal with that too. So those are the things that you wrap your mind around instead of just hoping and dreaming for something. So
Right.
like I said, because I never had a plan. Like they say, little girls dream of getting married, and some men dream of what they gonna do with their sons and where they gonna go and take them and play sports. I ain't never get that far in my thought process. I mean, I wish I did.
Yeah.
I wish I did. I probably have been a better father if I would have thought those things and tried to figure those things out. But it is what it is. We all got faults and stuff. As long as you realize that you're a person with faults and you can live with them, I think that just make you a better person.
I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. And I mean, for you to not have had a plan, I think we're fine. I think we're
Right.
good. You know what I'm saying? I would say that you did a great job.
Yeah, like I said, I wasn't. I'm just saying, I did. I mean, you deal with whatever comes. Like I'm saying, because you always put it in God's hand. When you
Right.
put something in God's hand and you getting led by God, you'll be all right. If you doing it any other way, then you're gonna deal with issues.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. And that's what I'm learning just in my personal life, you know what I'm saying? Just how important it is to put God first, because if you do, everything else falls in line.
Yes,
But in the
sir.
past when I wasn't doing it, you know what I'm saying? You get what you get. You get what you get out of that. And
Well, that's your priorities. You
mhm,
know what I'm saying? It's I always told me, it's God, your family, then everything else after that. And if you do that in that way, then your life you gonna have, excuse me, you gonna have balance in your life. You
mhm,
know what I'm saying? But if you don't do it that way, you won't have balance. You can't take God and put him third and then
yeah.
put your family first, because look, your family gonna have a way of leaving you,
Mhm.
and then who you gonna pray to? You know what I'm saying? You gonna pray to the person that's passed or whatever, and you don't put them first and stuff. No, you gonna have to have the strength of the Lord on your side. So that's the person that's gonna give you strength to make it through everything that you need to make it through.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I completely agree with that. Cause it's just like, you know what I'm saying? God supplies everything. Cause if you put God first, he gonna make sure your family okay. He gonna make sure your job okay. He gonna make sure everything else in your life okay. But if you
Right,
don't prioritize him, why he gonna make sure you straight? You ain't
right.
making sure y'all right, with each other.
You're
So,
absolutely right.
on that note, you know what I'm saying? So I'm very curious. I don't think we ever talked about this before. What was it like when Marcus was born? Since he was like the first one, what was that like for you when he was like actually born?
Well, I and when I think back, I remember Marcus was born in February, and your mom had a C-section,
Mm.
and I think it was the Paul Hospital he was at.
Yeah, I was
Yeah, yeah.
Christian.
Right, and I remember he was born and stuff. Like I say, I always just wanted everybody to be healthy, you know. And so when he was born, when he was born and stuff, I stayed out to the hospital for a little while, and he was all right and stuff. And I remember uh, leaving the hospital, and I got in the car, and then it hit me that I was a father, and I had a moment. I had like a moment in the car. It was like overjoyed. It's hard. It's hard to explain it, but that probably many people or many men that had kids can relate to it. But yeah, I remember it was in the morning, and I walked to the car, and because you got adrenaline going through your body, because
Right.
you see like because I was in there with your mom, and they was cutting on and stuff like that and stuff like that. And you were like, oh man, this is rough. And you
I
would
was
never
gonna say
know
you
what's gonna happen.
squeamish. How you?
Yeah, well, you gotta do what you got. You always gotta do what you gotta do. But I didn't have to see all that, and I
Uh,
wasn't trying to see all that. But I seen, him come out and, all the good and stuff like that over him and stuff like that. And he cried, he's healthy. And then, you see that she's good, and she's up and everything good. And you still have this, you talking to her, and you looking at your baby and stuff like that. And then but you get that moment when I left the hospital, and I didn't have to think about all that, and it was just like it was like overjoyed. It's like I drove down the highway. I was going down 70. I was just hyped. I was
mm-hmm.
just feeling good. It was like it was probably one of the best days, that I was just celebrating within myself, and then that's when after that, then you had to get to reality. You had to go to work, and then you got to get car seats, and then make it so people to come home, and then for that the rest of for that since forever it feels like work, but and then like I say, that's that, and then the same thing with you, but him, I can remember that moment after with you. I'm trying to remember, but I don't think I really had uh, uh, nothing that defined it like that, because it was like I was glad I had a daughter,
Mm-hmm.
like that. But I can't remember. I just remember that feeling when he was born.
It was the first one.
Right, but for you, not I ain't trying to make it. I'm just real. I
Yeah,
can't make no shit up.
I
And say
don't take
like,
it personally. You know what I'm saying? It's
yeah,
like I'm
because
the
that's what
baby. Uh,
I don't want you to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, you felt that overwhelming about him, and then it's like me, it's like poo poo.
nah.
Now it wasn't like that. You know,
I
he,
don't get that because I see myself like one like I've always idolized you just as my father, and like I'm the baby girl, and I, you know what I'm saying, like when you the baby girl, you know what I'm saying, you don't really question your role, you know what I'm saying, like I've never questioned your love for me just ever, you know what I'm saying, because it's just like I know how special I am to you, but it's just like I definitely understand. Like Marcus is the first baby. That's when your life changed.
see that's going back. See, it was told to me like, my mom and dad, they had five, so when they had me, I was the last one.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, I don't know how they always said it, so I'm assuming it's true. They wanted a little girl.
Yeah.
And I think they like, I came home in the dress because that's what they had. That's what they had. True story. True
Yeah.
story. They bought the clothes. I think my mom bought the clothes for a dress for a girl, and that's what I came home as. So I was the first transsexual. 19,
You was a cross dressing baby. That's what
19,
you.
1963. Yeah, yeah, I was 1963. You know, I brought that out. I brought that out. You know, that's what. Yeah, but I think that's true. You know, because I heard it several times. You had to ask solid.
I've heard the story too.
Right,
Yeah. They stepped that they say, yeah, we wanted you to be a girl. They ain't even
right,
have a name in it.
right. You know, nah, that's what I'm saying. But that's all right. You know, it all worked out in the end.
Yeah, yeah. Because I mean, I think because even with it still, you know what I'm saying. Even I see how grandma treats you too. Like you her baby. So you
Right,
know
right.
it
I
might not.
feel. I always feel that too.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I even think she baby us because we the baby babies. You know what I mean? So
You know. Well, it's but to me, I feel that, but I just think that like in my family, I just think everybody like had a role in my parents' eyes. You know,
yeah.
like I told you, like my sister was always the oldest, so she always had to be the most mature. You know.
Mm-hmm.
And then I like to, like people say, like but everybody, depending on her, she had some big shoes to fill. So Jerry didn't have to, he could be, he could be what he wanted to be. Not saying like he could be the fuck up, but I'm just saying what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And then Nay was a independent soul, you know, and Nay was an independent soul, and then Danny was a kind of like an adventurer. If
Uh,
I, what I'm saying, for real, if I had to throw characters out there, Danny was kind of adventurer. That's how Danny could go in the Navy and stuff like that. He was like, he wanted to do different things.
right.
And for
Yeah.
me, I was like a homebody. I wanted to be around my mom and my dad. That's how it was.
You was the family one. It looked like. Well,
Yeah,
everybody is
because
the
I want.
family one, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, because I always wanted everybody to be together. Because I always saw the strength, when we all together. And I always saw how strong and love. Although people go through stuff and deal with things, we always had love for each other. So I always saw that. Even one on one, if I was with Jerry, I saw the love. If I was with Nate, I saw the love. I was with Danny. You know what I'm saying? It's just
Right.
It's just different. It's just a different type of love.
Right. So is that why you instilled that in us like that? Because that's something that's like very much ingrained for me, and I know it came from you. Because I remember even when me and Marcus would get into fights when we were little kids, or just arguments. Actually, even as grown-ups, like when we get into arguments and disagreements and stuff, you always go back to like y'all
We
brother and
all
sister.
we got.
Yeah.
We all we got. Look, the world hard. I done had so many friends, man. They be your friends, but what type of friends are they? Because when your usefulness gone, they gone.
Yeah.
And it ain't their fault. I mean, I probably do the same thing. You understand? With your family. I mean, you can go through stuff with your family. You can even hate your family. But then, you know what I'm saying? You feel them emotions. But if something happened in your family, it's time to get in line and make sure everything right. You
Right.
don't have that you don't have that type of love for nobody. I mean, you do, but your family, that's what God chose for you,
Yeah.
That's just how I feel about it. Other people feel different ways. Other people love everybody else, but man, your family, your family. And then you got your outside family that people chose, and
Mm-hmm.
that's important too. You know what I'm saying? People, wives, and your nieces and nephews and stuff like that. All those things are important when you got a family. It's just whatever lane they in, you got to embrace them.
Yep. Yeah, yeah, I would say that one's to a fault now. It was a couple of girlfriends and stuff that we had that y'all didn't need to accept, but I respect it.
I hear you. I hear you, bitch.
I respect it.
I hear you.
But so tell me what it was like for you, like watching us grow up and stuff. Like what was that like? Like when we were like little babies versus like now that we, old and grown.
Well, I mean, it's always been hard for Marcus because Marcus always act like he don't care about nothing. So all your life, you struggling to get him to find something that he like.
Mm-hmm.
And then hopefully, he'll gonna come about and enjoy himself. And that'd be my hope for him. So it's always, I worked a lot, so I didn't really get to see you guys, grow up. To be honest with you, like I said one time, I was getting married and I was riding with my father, and he was like, "Marvin, I worked all my life, and here you is getting married, and I miss you. I miss you growing up, you know." And I kind of said to myself, I say, man, I ain't gonna do that for my kids. I'm gonna
Right.
be there for my kids. And with life circumstances, I was the same way. It turned around. I sit here sometimes listening at you and Marco and your mama talking about some of the things y'all did when when y'all was growing up, and I was like, man, what was I? You know. And I was
Yeah.
like, man, I was working, I wasn't there, whatever. And I was like, man, there's so many things that I missed when they were growing up, things in school. I mean, I got the most of them and stuff like that, but I'm just saying it was so many things that I missed and so many conversations, working second shift and stuff like that, that,
Right.
that you could have had, helping with homework and things like that. And you just missed them. And then you don't realize it because then you sit back and say, man, if I had to do it over again, I'd probably take a different route.
Uh-huh.
But, it is what it is, you know. That's just like, because I wanted you to touch on this. I remember one time with you, one of my best moments, and I think I told you this, was when you was in that dance class.
Yeah.
And you had on your white tights, and it was like a form of modern dance and like ballerina, and you probably was about 5 years old or something like that.
Yeah.
We were sitting there, we were sitting in the stands, and I was sitting with your mom, and you were doing something, and in the end they had to do this little walk and go across the floor,
The crab walk.
the
Yeah.
crab walk, right? And we was so proud, like we was proud, but we was like, well, Rissy, she could quit and just walk across there and just be done because it was over with.
I was doing
You was
terribly, y'all.
and you
I was not doing I was not doing it.
But yeah, but you kept doing it though, and you didn't quit.
Yeah.
And I was thinking to myself, like, in life, man, I was like, there's so many things that I quit on. And like when I played sports and stuff like that, I would quit. And even just different things, I would like quit. So I was like a quitter.
Mm-hmm.
Then when I saw you do that, and see this, like, really, I don't be liking to do these things because you be telling. And so, all for yourself, but in my mind, I always felt like I was a quitter.
Uh-huh.
And when I seen you do that and you didn't quit, I was so proud. I'm gonna tell your mama, like, yeah, she ain't quit. She gonna be something else. When you did that, man, it was like, for all them years, for all them years, that was like for you, that was like a proud moment. And see, this what I'm saying. What's proud for somebody else don't necessarily mean that it's proud for them, because this year when you was sitting on the couch and you were saying that well, and I don't really want to put your business out
You
there.
can. That's
You
fine.
were saying when you was talking to your therapist, you was talking. I think you said, that was one of your like worst moments.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, and it fucking like blew me away, because I was like, well, that was my best moment,
Yeah.
right? And looking at you, but you saying that's your worst moment.
Mm-hmm.
That was 30, what I'm saying, 30 years later. I'm like, man, it just that just goes to show you that in kids and in adults, the different perception
Mm-hmm.
that people have,
Yeah.
because that was, like I'm saying, that was my fondest moment
Yeah.
when you were doing something, and then for you to say that, in your way, you was feeling like, because you wasn't doing it to the capability of them other kids, it kind of bothered you.
Right.
I was like, yeah, that's messed up. And then that's that thing, like I'm saying, and see, and then it goes back to say, like, if I was doing therapy on myself, that's why I was saying, that's why I quit a lot of things, because, instead of just being embarrassed, I would just quit,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and then just, go on, instead of fighting through that,
Right.
and be embarrassed or whatever. I was just like quit, and that's all. But I ain't had, like, I didn't never had nobody like to support me. Like, I didn't have no system. Like, when you were the youngest, all your brothers and they sisters, they doing,
They
they
doing
doing
them.
they
Yeah.
thing, right? And like, it ain't their fault. I just didn't never have nobody to support me, like, to say, "Hey man, you can do it," because I ain't had nobody. And then we wasn't no family that you sit down and be like, had no conversation with. I could have conversations now. I could have conversations with Danny, silent stuff and mom and stuff and through church, we encourage each other.
Yeah.
But back then we wasn't encouraging each other like that. And that just the growth of a family. And see, that's why, I can be a better father to y'all, because I learned how to try to encourage people and try to tell people. I beat you up, but I want to try to, extend my hand
Mm-hmm.
and then help you and then show you a better way to deal with stuff. And that's what life taught me and stuff like that. Hey, if you see somebody, like now, if I'd have saw you quitting, I probably just through my life, I probably would have said, don't quit, but you ain't quit. And that's what made it my proudest moment.
Yeah.
Had you would have quit, I could have dealt with that through my life,
Mm-hmm.
saying that, hey, you don't want to quit like I did, you want to keep on keeping on, you know.
Right.
That's why it's always important for me to support y'all when y'all do something, let somebody know, hey, you know, I'm behind you, your mama behind you, only thing that can stop you is you. You know,
Yeah.
that's the only thing that can stop somebody. When you got that type of support, you can do anything.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I like that you said that too, because it's funny how we see different sides of things. Like even going back to like what you said about how much you worked when we were little kids. I didn't I didn't notice. You know what I'm saying? Like I guess when I look at it from a now that I'm older, I notice, but I never noticed when I was a kid. You know what I'm saying? Because from what I saw, you was always, I mean, you was at home with us every day. You know what I'm saying? You was always talking to us and having conversations. And to be fair, I think a lot of, you know, why I like to talk and, you know, have conversations and like um just do even this that I do right now is just because like when as we were growing up, a thing that you would be good for is always talking to us, always just talking to us and like talking to us about life and just like instilling wisdom and just making sure that we had the things that we needed for life. And I remember you would always say it, be like, even when I'm long gone, you still say it, you know what I'm saying? But it's just like, even then, if I wasn't trying to listen in, I still know what you said. And now that I'm older, it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of those things that you did and mom too just kind of made us who we are as people. And I think like, you know, even though you might not have been as present as you wanted to be, like, you know what I'm saying? The things that I was able to get from you helped make me a great person. You know what I'm saying? Like like I see every time I get on this podcast and I'm able to talk to people, I see me. You know, I see the you in me.
Yeah.
And, and that's the part that I kind of like enjoy the most. Like it's the part that makes me proud. You know what I'm saying? To be your daughter, because I can see myself. I mean, I can see you in me.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah, but that go through generations, because you know how I felt like that about my father. You know, when he left, you know,
Uh-huh.
I feel him in me, like, and how I deal with people, and some of the things that I do, and then I just remember how he was, and you know, like sometimes, man, when people alive, you always see the worst in people, and
Mm-hmm.
when they gone, you see those qualities. You know, you see those qualities that you love and you respect, and stuff like that, and you know, and I mean, I appreciate you saying that, because that's like giving a person they flowers, you know, while they're alive, you know, and then because so many times we don't tell people, you know, and then when they gone, you got memories, but you didn't do shit about it when they was alive,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And then like I say, I wish I could, you know, some of the good qualities my father had. I wish I could tell them, you know, about some of those good qualities, because we always heart. We would let them know we would let them know on the bad qualities we had,
Mm-hmm.
which sometimes was good, you
Yeah.
know, because you know he was a good person.
He
I'm just saying
was.
he was a good person. You know, I feel blessed, you know, because I always think, man, when we grew up. I always think when we grew up and stuff like that, man, people parents was out there drinking beer, taking shots, and you know, my dad was going to work and washing his car and then hang out and then go in his shop and build starters and stuff like that. And I'm thinking, man, my dad. See, when you young, you be like, man, my dad a square, man. He ain't out there with them guys talking about women and drinking out the same bottle, sitting on the porch. And, you know, them kids' parents look so good, man. Then when you get old, you be like, man, I had a bomb dad. You know,
Right?
he was
That's how I
about his
feel.
business. He was about his business. He was about his business, man. And then he make it. That's why, you know, and all his son, man, they saying they about their business, man. And then you can see the ones that they father was out there. Them niggas ain't about their business, you know, and stuff like that. So you just learn the difference in things. That's all.
Yeah, yeah, because I definitely agree. Like, nobody can say it better than you probably, like how like defiant I used to be when I was younger. And like I still can be that way sometimes. I'm not even gonna act like I'm so far from it. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like I would be like, man, y'all don't ever let us do nothing. You know what I'm saying? People going to parties, we can't do da da da. You know what I'm saying? But it's like once you get older and you think about it, be like, actually, like I had an amazing childhood. You know what I'm saying? It's things that I have that people wish that they had. You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
could talk to people and they get jealous to be like, they just mad that I had a dad that was present. I remember I got into an argument with somebody when I was like probably like 11. Yeah, I was still in like elementary school, and it was a girl. You know what I'm talking about, because niggas will always ask me all the time, "You want to come spend the night? You want to come spend the night?" And she used to live across the street. You want to come spend the night? And you always be like, "No." You know what I'm saying? You would always be like, "No, no, you cannot go spend the night." I'll be like, "It's just across the street. What you mean, Dad? Like, you don't ever let us do nothing. Y'all overprotective. Y'all this, y'all that, whatever." And you know what I'm saying? And we had that conversation. Like, you sat me down and you told me like why wasn't letting me do that. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, you know, after that, it's just like, you know what I'm saying? And when you just honest, you know what I'm saying, and be like, look, this why you can't go. This why I keep saying no. I'm not trying to be the bad guy. I'm not trying to keep you from living your life. I'm your father and I'm here to protect you. So I don't care how you feel. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing my job. And when you grow up, you'll understand. And I took that and I left it alone. I was just like, you know what I'm saying? As a kid, it's just like, well, I just ain't gonna ask him this shit no more. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, I ain't gonna ask no more. So then when she would keep asking me, I would be like, nah, I can't do it. Nah, I can't do it. And one day she was just like, man, your daddy don't ever let you do nothing. And I was just like, man, at least I got one. I was like, bro, you're gonna have to leave me alone. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, you're gonna have to leave me alone. And it's like, that ain't no insult that's gonna get no way over here. You know what I'm saying? Because if you had one, he probably wouldn't let you do shit neither.
Right. Well, he's gonna be a parent. You can't see the thing. Through the obvious things. Why I told you, I wasn't gonna let you do that. Other things, see, you don't have the keys to other people's house.
Right.
So once people get you in their house and they lock the door, as a parent, you basically gave them your kids to do whatever they want to with your kids. And you can't do nothing. And you got to live with yourself through those things and stuff like that. You know better. Like I'm just saying, as a man, you know what type of world this is. You know what I mean? You wish it wasn't that type of world. Maybe back in the day, you could, do stuff like that. But we live in a world where people just sick. And I just felt it was safe that, look, I would say, like, go to a party. And then when it's time to go to bed,
you go home.
yeah, well, I pick a person up.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah.
that was my thing. I'll pick a person up. If that's what they needed to do, man. I was like, if you go to a hotel party, man, hey, if you want, 12 o'clock, they going to bed. Hey,
Yeah.
I'll be out there and pick them up. I just think more parents should do that, instead
Yeah.
of just letting their kids, I mean, if you was, I never, if it was family or something, I had no problem with that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
just strangers, man, you didn't know strangers.
That's true. That's very much true. Like it makes me wonder, especially like when I look around at like a lot of my peers. I'm not saying all of them, but like some of them, I don't know if they realize that parenting is a responsibility. Like I wonder if some people actually understand the full gravity of parenthood, because like if I was to take a look around, I think some people just really don't.
Right, right. I feel you.
Because it's just like, you know what I'm saying, like it's almost like some people think that their kids are an accessory to an extent and not like a person, like, and I'm not saying that's everybody, it's definitely not, but like some people it's just like they kids be in so many different situations, circumstances, and it's just like, is this so? Yeah, this is okay. You know what I'm saying? And and I get that life happens sometimes, like things happen unexpectedly and like they're out of your control, but like some people really just be going with whatever. The kids can be anywhere, doing anything, having experiences, and it's just like you realize this is a child. Like you know what I'm saying? Like you realize like these things ain't even healthy that they getting exposed to and all kind of stuff. Because that's the part that I appreciated the most about our childhood, especially now that I'm older. It's just we were not exposed to a lot, and that's because y'all allowed us to be kids. And then when it was time for us to get into certain things, that's when we got into certain things. When it was time for us to branch out on our own and start figuring stuff out. But while we were kids, we were kids.
Right. I heard that. I hear you. I hear you there.
So on that note, like what's it like now that we're older? You know what I'm saying? Because you did have the control, but now we're older and you kind of like pull back the reins some. So like what is that like, and when do you know that it's time to kind of like pull back and let your kid be an adult?
Well, you don't, but you just gotta let go. I mean, I'm for real, man. They say let go, let God.
Yeah.
That's what you gotta do. I mean, like, cause when people grown, man, you'll run yourself crazy. You gotta let go, man. Just like when we moved down here, and y'all was in St. Louis, man. You couldn't. You mean what you gonna do? Worry about what people doing every night? You gotta just let go and say, sometimes you gotta let stuff be in God's hand.
Right. So was it hard?
Yeah, it was hard, but then it just get to the point where you just realize, everybody got to live their life, man, and stuff gonna happen to people. So you just let go and you just pray and you just put it in God's hand. And when you put it in God's hand, it makes it easier.
Yeah.
So it'd be all right. And then you say that's what you spent your whole life teaching and trying to train.
If you had a chance, would you do anything differently?
Okay. Well, if I had a chance to do anything, that not like I was telling you, no, I don't think so. I love the life that I live. I love the wife that I had. I appreciate y'all, you and Marco. Man, everything wonderful, man. Sometimes God give you what he give you, man. Some people don't love it. I love it. So I wouldn't change a thing, man. I don't want to be. I mean, people say they want more money, they want their kids to be, but whatever, my kids happy, man. They had success to me. I don't need no more. I mean, if they want to be more and they striving for more and I can support them to be more, then I'm happy with that. If they happy with they are and they dealing with their issues, man, I'm happy with that. That's life, Rissy.
Yeah. Yeah. So like what do you think is like what was the funnest part about I don't want to say was, we still exist. What's the funnest part about being a dad?
I like the vacation. I like the road trips. I like the vacations now. They've changed over the years.
Mm-hmm.
We went from y'all being traveling to Florida when you were 3 years old, and anticipating, and you probably didn't even know where you was going, and stuff like that. To now, we do stuff now and stuff like that, and drive, and we just planning on still doing stuff as a family. I think that's a wonderful thing. My hopes is we start doing those resorts and stuff like that for the adults and stuff like that. Go
Yeah.
have a drink and everything like that. That's the best part is to see your kids grow and then we can enjoy, the time that we got together, And
Yeah.
that's to me, that's all I can ask for. Because like in this world, man, like you work a job and you work around people, man, they don't really care nothing about you,
Yeah.
your kids, man, your family, man, it's all you got. For real.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny too, because I think those are like some of my first memories actually is when we went to Disney. Those are literally some of my first memories. And I can't remember everything, but I remember specific things, right? Like I remember Epcot and uh I think I took a picture with like Aladdin or something like that. If it wasn't Aladdin, it was the girl that's in Aladdin, but I can't think of her name. Like I took a picture with her and like my little Lion King swimsuit and like swimming with Talisha in the
Yeah.
kiddie pool.
All
And
that was the bond. I just remember, man, we used to go to even stuff like when we went to Branson with Solid and them.
mm-hmm.
And remember we made them trips to Kansas City.
Yep.
And not Kansas City with Mike and them, and then with Danny and Solid and Eddie. And all us used to go up there, and then we took trips to Cincinnati and went to when we went to Cincinnati, we went up to Dayton and stuff like that.
Yep.
We went to those museums and stuff like that, man. And
yeah,
I mean,
that was
we done did some things, man.
yeah, and Ohio was special to me too. Like that one is special to me too because I thought it was really cool that I was like, "Hey, there's a civil rights museum in Ohio," and we actually went. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right. Right. And see, I've always wanted to do that, like with my family, and I guess you asked in that, and I guess that's the question I can like. Stuff I always used to dream of was doing stuff like that with my family.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not with y'all, but with
the whole family,
everybody, right? But it always stuff will fall through or stuff, like people like budget or whatever. They, you can't never get them. They'll go, but they're on their they're on their own agenda,
right.
But when we go, we always do stuff like that.
Yep.
Just like when we just went to, what I'm saying? We went to what's that, Madame Tussauds?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Because, your mama gonna make us do stuff like that. Stuff I wouldn't do. But then when you look at the pictures, you be like, that was kind of fire. That was kind of bomb.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When you get back, you be like, man, that was kind of nice. And then all the other stuff that, you do. And that's what, like, the Cincinnati. Remember we went to Dayton and we went to that Air Force base?
Yeah.
And they had all
the planes, like JFK's plane,
right.
Eisenhower's plane, all
exactly. All the Air Force Ones and stuff like that. See, that's what you be wanting, And me and your mom, we do that without y'all, too. We go to places and stuff and do the same thing, man. But I think that's what I always look forward to, that right there.
Yeah, it's the memories. It's definitely the memories. Like that's what matters, and like that's what I'm saying. I think that was one of the reasons why, like, you know what I'm saying. Even like where you say you worked a lot, it's just like I don't know, because I got memories. Like there's no point in my life, you know what I'm saying, where I can be like I can say like my dad wasn't there, not in no substantial way. You know what I'm saying? Like, was you at my dare graduation? No, it was in the middle of the afternoon. No. But you know what I'm saying? If I needed my lunch brought to me, you know what I'm saying? You done brought me my lunch and stuff before. So, you know what I'm saying? As far as I'm concerned, you was there and I got memories to prove it. You know what I mean? And that's the stuff that matters. And all my memories is good. You know what I'm saying? Even the bad memories good.
Yeah, I hear you, Dave. I hear you there.
Yeah, because it's the little things, you know what I'm saying? Even now that we grown, you know what I'm saying? Like lighting up the fire pit and stuff like that. I look forward to the fall, you know what I'm saying? Like I look forward to the fall. Be like, I'm finna go, you know what I'm saying? We gonna light the fire pit up, get some wood, and you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. We go on vacation. It's just like I don't care. I'm 29, but we still gonna take that picture in front of the Universal thing because that's just what we do since I was 3. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's just what we do. And it's just like that's what really matters. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's the thing that I'm realizing now that I'm getting closer to God and like going back to the beginning of the episode where it comes to like putting God first, because it's gonna let everything fall in line. I'm learning what's important. And it's not money. It's not, you know what I'm saying, having the best job and being famous and all of that kind of stuff. Like that's not what's important. What's important is the experience, you know what I'm saying? Loving people, loving your family, loving your friends, like being the best person that you can be, and you know what I'm saying, just making the most out of life because you only get one of them.
Yeah. So let me ask you, without you going into too many details. So what the things you got coming up on your podcast that you're doing in the future?
I want to start getting into more of the deeper conversations. I want to start exploring topics that, you know what I'm saying, kind of need to be touched on. So originally when I came up with Thinker versus Speaker, it was about, you know, just having conversations, you know, essentially shooting the shit. But now I'm in a place where I want to start talking about things that kind of matter to people and things that people really like to tiptoe around and just kind of like show like we ain't got to tiptoe around these conversations. We can start having these conversations about life and how we feel and things that we dealing with, because I want people to walk away with a better understanding of other people and also life. And like when I say life, I mean real life, not this false.
Fantasy,
Mm-hmm.
fantasy, and people talking behind people back. Delve into something that's meaningful. You dig?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I'm with you there, man. You know.
Absolutely. Like I want to start talking about all types of things. I want to talk about addictions. I want to talk about, you know what I'm saying, learn toxicity. I want to talk about you know, finances. Let's talk about health, whether it be mental, physical, spiritual, financial. You know what I'm saying? I want to start getting into the things that people might be too embarrassed to talk about. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
that's
Because
dope right there. That's,
yeah,
you know.
we gonna look under the rug that everybody's sweeping stuff under. Like that's what I'm doing now. Like we just gonna look under the rug. And we gonna start cleaning house. So that's kind of where I'm thinking of going with it.
And long as you do it tactful,
Mm-hmm.
you know that, you know what I'm saying? Because those are serious issues, you know.
Yeah.
So you have to do that tactful, and you got to, really, and then it'll help so many people, you know.
That's the goal. That's definitely the goal, because the thing that I feel like gets misconceptualized, like the reason that even that I went to therapy or even felt like I needed to go to therapy in the first place is because I felt so uncomfortable talking. You know what I'm saying? It's not like y'all created an environment where I couldn't talk. I wasn't in a space. I felt too embarrassed to talk. And for the longest time, I was too embarrassed to even go to therapy. See, that's why I don't need to go to therapy anymore now, right? Because I've learned how to say what I need to say and have these conversations with people and not be uncomfortable in myself. So my goal is to show people it's like it's okay to have these conversations, though they might be uncomfortable sometimes, but it's okay to talk about the things that we're going through, because if you talk about the things that you're going through, that's how we can do something about it and fix it and be better as people. Because in our communities, you know what I'm saying, especially like the Black communities, we sweep a lot under the rug and we don't talk about a lot. You know what I'm saying? We say, give it to God, give it to God, give it to God. But like, you know what I'm saying? What does that even mean to say give it to God?
Well, that means they don't want it.
Yeah.
They don't want to deal with it. That's what they saying.
Right.
They
And
don't
that
want to deal with their own issues. But look at when people say give stuff to God, you still got to figure it out.
absolutely.
They all God gonna do is give you the tools to work with.
Exactly. You
You
know
know,
what I'm saying? And God done gave you family. He done gave you resources. He done gave you everything that's around you. You know what I'm saying? We saying give it to God, and it's just like everything around us is God given.
that's why when people be talking about you go to church and listen at the pastor, and the pastor sitting up there telling you what you need to do and stuff like that, people don't even listen. You know, because they want that miracle. They want it like people work their jobs and then they got to work their finances, and then they listen to people tell them that if you donate your money, you gonna get. Ain't nobody hit no lottery at the church yet. You
Yep.
know, nobody hit no lottery at the church. Everybody that got some money, they got out here and they work for it. You know,
Yeah. I
but
could I could tell you something real. You know what I'm saying? I could tell you something real. And some people might think I'm crazy, but the people that know God gonna know what I mean. Like yesterday morning, I pray every day. That's how I start my day. And I was outside with Ruby and I was doing my prayer and I was like, God, I was like, you know what I'm saying? I know what I want to do, but I don't know how. You know what I'm saying? I know what I want to do. I was like, God, can you help me work through? I need you to help me with my discipline. I need you to help me with my procrastination. I need you to show me which way that I need to go. Show me the moves that I need to make so I can make them. You know what I'm saying? Show me what I need to do. Show me how to fix my finances. Show me how to fix, you know what I'm saying? Like tell me which direction to go with the podcast. Tell me what's next for me. Tell me what I need to do, right? And I prayed and I let go. Now that's me giving it to God, right?
right.
That's me giving it to God. So I'm sitting at work yesterday. I done prayed. Like I said, I prayed at 7 o'clock in the morning. We talking about not 9, 10 o'clock now. I'm sitting at my desk. We in a meeting. And all of a sudden I get all of these ideas just flooding in my head. It's just like, do this, do that, do this, do that, do this. And like when I say I got a clear vision, when 4 hours before that, I ain't know where I was going, how I was going to do it, or what to do. You know what I'm saying? And that's how God worked. You know what I'm saying? He ain't just give me 100,000 subscribers and $1 million in my bank account, but he told me what steps to take. And it's up to me to take them steps. You know what I'm saying? That's what
Right.
giving it to God means. That's what it means to me.
I thought you was gonna say you prayed to God, you took Ruby for a walk and found $100 bill. Ain't
Nah.
God good? I thought you with that. I thought you with the lottery, Christian.
Hey,
Ain't God good? He put the 100 right under the tie. God bless me. God bless
you
me.
know what I get when I ask God for money?
What's that, bro?
I want $1 on the scratch off.
I know that's right. I thought
And
you
you
were gonna
still
say
gotta
5.
thank him. You
I thought you was gonna say 5. You know.
and you still gotta thank them. You know what I'm saying? Because how you gonna be grateful for that dollar? A lot of people would get that dollar and then be like, "Man, go on with this funky ass dollar." You know, say, "I asked you for $1 million." God be like, "I started with $1 to see if you was gonna be grateful. Look like you need some time, don't you?"
Right. So I hear you. Let's get into all this stuff then. I get in there with you. I love talking about it. We got to get some people, maybe people listening. They hit you up and they got some ideas and they got some problems or something they want to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
They still hit you up and stuff, and let's get them on here and stuff like that. Because I know people out there got problems.
Mm-hmm.
I know people out there need help, and then I know us people out there got the answers for them. And then this could be a way for people to get on here and talk about it, and
We
maybe
work
help
through
somebody.
it.
Maybe help somebody.
Yep.
And that'd be the perfect avenue and stuff like that. I mean, we don't have many avenues, but stuff like this can open up doors for people. And then it's talking about serious issues. So, let's roll. Let's see where it gets you.
I'm ready. I'm ready. And on that note, you know what I'm saying? If it's anything, like Dad said, if it's anything that you want us to talk about, you know, particular people that you want to talk to, if you want to come on a podcast, you know what I'm saying? Let me know. I'm on social media. I'm on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Comment. Make sure you like the content. Share it with other people. Put other people on so we can definitely grow this and we can talk. We can talk to more people, touch more people. You know what I'm saying? If you know people that got, you know, resources or like, you know what I'm saying, good information to share. Like I said, I want to talk about entrepreneurship. I want to talk about finances. You know what I'm saying? So if you know people that's in that lane, send them my way. We can get them on the podcast. We can help people learn some things that they wouldn't have had access to. And like I said, you ain't got to pay for this. We're going to bring it to you free every Friday. So, you know what I'm saying? If you can't afford a therapist, you can't afford a financial advisor, you can't afford, you know what I'm saying? All of these things, send them my way. We'll get to talking about them. Let us know what you want to hear and we can get off into it. So if you're looking for me on social media, you can find Thinker versus Speaker at Thinker versus Speaker on Facebook and Instagram, and Thinker versus Speaker official on TikTok. And if you're looking for me personally, you can find me at Marissa Y17 on Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, Twitter when I feel like it, but I never feel like it. And Marissa Yarbrough on Facebook. Dad, do you want to let people know where to find you? Or you just want to
No,
stay incognito?
I just want to stay where I'm at. I want to appreciate you for having me on, having this opportunity to talk and stuff like that. And look, I challenge anybody that's listening. Come on, let's get on here and talk about something. Let's raise them followers up. Let's get this thing going, man. Let's help somebody. You
Yep.
know what I'm saying? You know, this gonna help somebody. Let's do it. You know what I'm saying? That's our opportunity to do something good. You know, y'all have a nice day. Have a good one. Bye.
All right, later, y'all. We'll see y'all next week.